Okay, I guess it's finally time to get onto the drift car. As you guys would all know, she let go in a pretty spectacular way at World Time Attack. So it's literally sat here for 7 months, haven't touched it, too busy playing with that car there. It's been a lot of fun, had some good times with the family, going to Cars and Coffee. But yeah, as I say, it's time to get onto this one. We'll pull the motor out today and see what the extent of the damage is. Luckily I've got a few motors just sitting here, so we'll build up 2 motors, one to go in the car and a spare. A little bit about the car. It's a LS2 Twin Supercharged running Rotrex C3892 Rotrex Superchargers. Basically that's the intake there, runs 2 Commodore K&N over the radiator filters. Air goes in through there, through the Platinum Supercharger. Boost pipes goes to a set of R35 intercoolers, just sat them together, made custom tanks. So boost comes up through there, obviously through there, and then just into the manifold. Running a boot mounted radiator system, so it's a standard LS2 water pump bell. I just pressed it off, welded on a extra piece here, and then machined the lip so it keeps the belt on. Because it was throwing belts a few years ago, machined up all these custom pulleys with all lips to keep the belts. So the superchargers run just off the crank and water pump, and then I've actually put the alternator, if you can see that behind there, I've moved the alternator back and it runs off the air conditioning, 4PK belt. That's been working really well. Just a custom header tank here. Dash 20 lines all the way through. They go right through the car to the boot. And in the boot here, so yeah, so that's the radiator system there. It's just a radiator laying flat. I actually run a Davies Craig water pump there to help. Air goes in through there. Then I've got 2 BA fans underneath here, and the 2 BA fans just suck air straight down. Just welded that on there for remote filling, but don't actually use it. So yeah, that's a little bit about the car. So let's pull the motor apart and see what's going on in there. You ready to come under? Good. Alright, you bring the line under. Alright, you got it? Oh, that's the sun. The gearbox is this big. Change the gears for us. Yeah, you need to stay on that and keep the light going. So you come across this side now. Yeah, and I'll go on that side. We'll do the last one. Yeah, good job. Yeah, good job. Perfect. Good job. So we've got the motor out of the hole. So motor's out. It's a little bit more about, I guess, the wires fab cross member that I made. I put a S13 rack into a 8.6 cross member. Astra pump, which is horrible, but seems to need to use it. Okay, so pretty obvious, pretty quick what we've got going on here. Got a massive rod out there. I can see some cracks in the block just here as well. So on the other side here, I've seen this one I was lifting out. Yep, so obviously another big hole there. She's been munching around. I shut it down obviously as soon as I could. As soon as you hear it running on not the right amount of cylinders and you've got flames coming over the bonnet, you tend to shut it down, but obviously by the looks of it, it's done catastrophic damage. Okay, so that's the alternator bracketry system I made up. So it's basically just to move the alternator back onto this 4PK belt here, which normally runs the air conditioning on this side. The advantage of moving that back is it's less belt wrap for the twin supercharger kit. So yeah, and you just adjust it through here. Machined up a bigger pulley to slow down the alternator speed. Not that I've had any alternator failures like I've seen a lot of LS guys have, but just thought, you know, a bit of added insurance. And that's a standard water pump. Just machined up a ring, pressed it on there, welded it on both sides, and then put this little lip there, and that keeps the supercharger belt on there. Stops it trying to flick off the front there. So since I've done that, I haven't thrown a single belt. All right, let's pull it apart. So these are the Lenardi 8000 RPM tie bar lifters. Oil pickup gone. Actually, that might be why I lost my oil pressure. Alright, so that's the motor apart. Damage was way more severe than I initially thought. I knew it would be pretty bad, like having a failure so high up in the RPM, but yeah, I'll just run you through what I found. So the rotating assembly, as you can see there, not ideal at all. So number 5 rod's gone, pretty much all of number 6 pistons gone, pretty much every rod except for the back 2 has copped it. You can see there she definitely got very hot on journal 1, on big N1, sorry. I'd say that's where the failure started. Generated heat, chucked it out now. Also on the heads, it's gone and made contact, so if you do that, you can see, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there's a light through the valve. So obviously bent valves, made some pretty solid contact here with the pistons come up and hit there. Pistons also came up and hit this one here as well, all the way around there as well. Obviously the windage tray copped a smashing. Trying to work out what's actually caused it. We know it's obviously a lack of oil pressure. Based on the logs, the oil pressure was perfectly fine every other run. Just on this particular run, went through the gears first, second, third, fourth, and then the oil pressure just drops to 0. I didn't see that, and I was doing demos, so I sat above 6,000 RPM based on the log for 42 seconds with no oil pressure. So that's why we have the heat. And look, scat rods, J pistons, you know, you can have the best of the best. But with all that heat generation, no oil, anything's going to fail, I reckon. So one thing I did find, it's a chicken or an egg scenario, is the oil pickup has snapped. Now it looks to me like it's a little bit, let's try and give you a bit of light, a little bit dinged there, so I'm not too sure if that's what's snapped and then that's caused the lack of oil pressure, like the pickup, or whether the oil pressure issue is something else, and then as the bits are being chucked around the motor, that's knocked that off. Yeah, not too sure about that. Unfortunately the VCM cam, it's took that as well, so therefore we're just out of caution. The Lenardi tie bar lifters will be going, so new lifters, basically a whole new engine. Not too sure I'll be able to save the heads. Obviously crank's gone. The precision billet reluctor wheel still looks okay, so I TIG that on the back, so I'll gently die grind that off and press that onto the new rotating mass. Yeah, the block itself was obviously quite severe. It split the block all the way down right through here. Obviously chucked a bit out there. Yep, missing the whole water jacket there. On this side here, same thing, it's been smashing around a lot. Let's see if I can turn this around. Just give me a sec. So then, yeah, on this side, obviously missing all this section here, cracked the block there. You know, I was only running 850 for time attack last year, but you know, spinning over 6,000 RPM, putting boost into it, when she lets go, she's going to let go. But yeah, easily the worst or the most catastrophic failure I guess I've had. But yeah, at least we know now. So now to get a whole new rotating assembly, new block. Well, in fairness, I've got a few here as well, so probably this one here I reckon we'll build, because I know that was a runner. Yeah, so not ideal, but on the same token, you know, that rotating assembly was 8 seasons old, and hadn't been opened for 5 seasons. So basically I pulled it apart at the end of 2018 because I was getting like a intermittent missing, and we thought it might have been the reluctor wheel. So popped the motor apart, lifted the crank out, put the billet reluctor on there, and while it was out, obviously new rings and bearings. But yeah, apart from that, it has not been, hadn't been apart for 5 seasons. So yeah, hindsight, I probably should have had my oil warnings turned on, and like, you know, engine protection modes, but I've always sort of said to the tuner, I'd rather blow a motor than lose a battle like 5 minutes before the line for a motor shutting off that mightn't have failed. So but yeah, if there was the engine protection on or a dash alarm, obviously being a demo, I would have just buttoned out of it. and then being able to pull it apart to find out why we're losing oil pressure, and probably could have saved, you know, the whole motor, the whole rotating assembly. So lesson learnt, I guess. Going forward, I think I will put the protection back in. Yeah, because like, I'll be honest, winning comps isn't that important to me anymore. Like, I still want to do well and have fun, but yeah, just at a different stage, I guess. So yep, well, that's the damage. So we've got a bit of a boat anchor there. Obviously this is all chuck away as well, and we'll start again. Thanks for watching along. In the next video, I hope to have some machining work getting done on one of those motors, get some bits ordered and start to bolt together. Yeah, so we'll build again and build it bigger, better, stronger. Thanks for watching, guys.